Hey Star Trek fans, Dan Gunther here with another episode of the Treklit Report where I talk about a new Star Trek book release. This one's from a few months ago, and it's one that I think every Star Trek fan will be interested in, whether you're a longtime hardcore fan like me who's read so many behind-the-scenes things that you think there's nothing else new you can learn under the sun, or if you're a new fan looking to get into Star Trek the original series. Star Trek Lost Scenes by David Tilotta and Curt McAloney is for you. This is a really great book full of really interesting facts and tidbits from behind the scenes of Star Trek. The book opens with almost a primer on 60s era technology and filmmaking. For example, I'd heard that something called an optical printer was used a lot in creating the visual effects for the original series, but I didn't actually know what that was or how it worked. Thankfully, the authors go into great detail as to how all of these technologies came together to create the original series. A show that looks a little primitive to our eyes these days, but at the time was really groundbreaking in terms of effects and anything science fiction that had ever been seen up to that point. The book is primarily divided into three main sections: behind the scenes, deleted scenes, and bloopers. In behind the scenes, you'll learn a lot about how those visual effects were created, and a lot of just really interesting behind the scenes tidbits from the show. The book uses things like film clips that have long been thought lost to history that show things like behind the scenes moments with directors and rehearsals with scripts, as well as B-roll footage of scenes that never made it to the final aired episode. In the deleted scenes section, you'll find a lot of information about those. For example, scenes like the famous moment in Who Mourns for Adonis when Carolyn Palamas finds out that she's pregnant. This, of course, did not make it to the final aired episode, but exists only as these deleted film clips. Bloopers is also, of course, a fun bit and is always my favorite part of any kind of behind-the-scenes DVD extras. In this book, it takes the form of clips of actors laughing, breaking character, and that sort of thing as cameras roll. For those of you out there who picked up the Roddenberry Vault Blu-ray set, don't worry, this book covers a lot of different material from that one, and there's really no crossover other than the basic concept behind it. Bruce Gibson and I also had a chance to talk to the authors on a recent episode of Literary Treks. I'll have a link to that in the description below, in that they indicated that they had a lot of material that ended up not making it into the book. So I'm kind of hoping that they managed to do a second volume. According to them, there certainly is enough material to account for it. So with Christmas coming up, I'm sure a lot of Star Trek fans would love to find this book under their tree. It really is a great resource for both the old and the new fan, with a lot of really cool stuff that, frankly, I had never seen anywhere else before. Be sure to check out the Literary Treks episode that we recorded with the authors. Here's a brief excerpt.
Yeah, growing up, I read a lot of books a lot of biographies, a lot of people talking about, how serious Nimoy was on the set. That he was always, in Mr. Spock character, and he didn't want to, really laugh and really smile or that kind of thing. And then to see all of these various frames with him laughing and having obviously a good time on the set. It's like, he obviously had a good time making the series, and I'm not quite sure where this thing came about, with him, with people saying that, he just didn't laugh on the set, because that's just not true.
You can find that episode of Literary Treks as well as a number of other podcasts at trek.fm. I'll have a link to that particular episode in the description below. And in the meantime, check out the links in the description if you would like to order Star Trek Lost Scenes from Amazon. Thank you so much to the Patreon supporters for making videos like this possible. I really do appreciate it. Click the link here if you're interested in helping to support the channel. Even just $1 a month would really help out. If not, no worries. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, subscribing, and even just watching. And I'll see you in the next video. Until then, live long and prosper.